The 2024 Auburn Tigers football schedule is out. Let's talk about it on this Friday edition of the Uptempo podcast.
You are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
Let's go. What's up, Auburn family, man? TGIF. I hope everybody's had a good week. I'm your host, Dustin Smith, joined as always by my guy, Blake Lane. Fired up, Blake, fired up. Big weekend on the Plains. We got USC coming in, Hoops Sunday. Ton of big-time recruiting visits this weekend for Hugh Freeze and his staff. And we're going to talk about this schedule, Blake. We already know now who we got playing next year and when. I'm fired up to talk about it. How are you today, man?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Like you said, excited about this weekend. A lot of OVs coming to town, unofficials, and everything like that, man. Just getting amped up for early signing day, and like I keep saying, just the intensity around the program. The basketball team, a big dub last night. We kept saying that was a team, not to sleep on, with USC rolling into town and all the LeBron James talk and everything like that. Didn't want to get caught, just sleepwalking basically. And everybody keeps saying, when is Auburn going to be ranked? When is Auburn going to be ranked? And I think if you win Sunday against USC, I think you might find yourself in the polls, and you're sitting really well in the Kim Palm right now. I think you're in top 10, I think ninth to be exact. So a big time win for Bruce and the boys. They keep getting better, not turning the ball over. Heck of a game last night. I know it started slow, but Trey Donaldson always brings it. We'll talk about that more on another episode. But love to see the guys getting it together on the hardwood, Dustin. And like you said, man, this schedule is out. The 2024 schedule, man. I'm excited just the way it sets up. I think it's a favorable schedule for the Auburn Tigers. I think there's a chance to win some games on this schedule. I know we get 8 home games on this schedule.
Yeah, you go ahead and pull that bad boy up.
Yeah, man, I'll pull it up right here. Let me get this. Get me over there, and then bang, we will pull this thing up right here. Man, that looks favorable, Dustin.
The two bye weeks there in the month of October is really interesting. Something that I haven't had the time to do. Is that unique to Auburn, or is that a new thing that's kind of going on with all the SEC schedules? Is everybody getting 2 bye weeks?
Yeah, you get 2 now.
Okay. Well, I'm a big fan of that then when you consider the expanded playoffs. These kids are being asked to play more games and all that. So if you're going to throw kids out of games for big hits in the name of player safety, then I am in favor of adding an extra bye week there. So let's start here, Blake, with the first 4. Alabama A&M, then Cal coming, New Mexico, and Arkansas. Sitting here today, I know this is December 14th. We got a lot of roster turnover still to go. But as of right now, this looks like a pretty favorable 4 games. And keep in mind, I was at the New Mexico State game, so I'm not overlooking anybody. But I like these first 4 here before we see Oklahoma coming in there for the first time.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And just looking at the big picture from the Auburn point of view, and what Auburn should do is win these 4 games. So you get them at Jordan-Hare Stadium. I think the Cal game should be a night game. I think, honestly, I think the Oklahoma game, I think that should be a night game. I know it's not going to be. I know it's not going to be. They'll find a way to not make that a night game. They'll probably put it at like 11 a.m. or something. Just, I mean, you know how we get done. But
yeah, I know it. I know it.
But those first 4, man, Alabama A&M, that's gonna, that's just a test to see where you're at. Try to, get all the kinks worked out, and then Cal. Look, Cal, they vastly improved throughout the year, man. Yeah, they made a bowl game, and they improved, and they had the new quarterback come in, and I mean, it was just a complete turnaround after that Auburn game. Defense got scolded a couple times out there in the Pac-12, but
happens.
They got to 6 wins, man. Good for them. New Mexico, hopefully they don't beat us like their big brother did. But we should win that one.
Like, I was hoping so bad that Brian Harsin to New Mexico rumor was true, because
Yeah.
all of a sudden September 14th would have been a sold out must see for Auburn fans. That one I was praying that one played out.
Do you think there would have been golf balls and mustard bottles thrown onto the field?
Bro, I don't. I know this. If we would have lost that game, it would have been a all of a sudden Hugh Freeze's seat would have got super duper hot. I know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That one would have felt personal. As a Bucks fan, there was one time in the playoff game. It was Drew Brees' last game actually, where they brought Jameis off the bench and they did a trick play, and Jameis threw like a 70-yard bomb. Now we ultimately won the game this year that we went on to win the Super Bowl 2020 with Brady and all that. But just that feeling of I couldn't stand Jameis because obviously he sucked for Tampa, and he comes
Yeah.
in bomb on us. I was like, oh, I wanted everybody fired right there as soon as that play was completed. I wanted everybody gone, even my boy Carlton. I wanted everybody on that defense gone. So I think it would probably have felt something like that. But obviously, this is a mute point. But that was a fun one to kind of see going around on social media for a couple of days. Like, boy, if that would have happened, golf balls. I don't baked potatoes.
Potatoes.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I think baked potatoes would have been the choice. Potato guns are off the top shelf.
Yeah, man. I don't think he. I don't know. I don't think he coaches D1 football again. But
I don't think he wants to.
yeah, I think he's just chilling on the mills. But
Talking a big game.
yeah, 9:21. Arkansas comes to town. Arkansas loses KJ Jefferson.
Hmm.
He hit the portal. They're bringing in Bobby P for their OC. I think that's big for Arkansas, man. I really do. I think he's a very talented recruiter, and I think you get him back into Fayetteville, and he's going to bring talent into that offense. And that was when Arkansas was at their best. When he was at the helm before he,
Oh
ultimately
yeah.
screwed up, and
Hmm.
and they haven't been right since. So I think getting him back in that offense is big for the Hogs. Obviously, this is Sam Pittman. This is do or die year, right? So
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, his back's going to be up against the wall. Like I said, you get this at Jordan Hare Stadium. I'm with you, Dustin. You should be 4-0 going into that Oklahoma game.
Yeah, I just pulled up Arkansas' schedule real quick. They got UAB the week before us, so nothing. They should
Yeah.
be ready to roll. But yeah, like you said, that's one of them teams where you're looking at this year and you're saying, all right, like you said, Sam Pittman barely made it through the year, so that's going to be. Like I pulled up their schedule. There it was their first three games are pretty easy. I say that they got Oklahoma State week 2, but you know. That all eyes on Sam Pittman. See if Gus Malzahn might make an appearance back in the SEC if that job comes open, Blake. But yeah, if all things go the way that we think they should here, you're looking at should be a favorable start for Auburn. The fun one, man, like you said, you want this one to be at night. Oklahoma coming into Jordan Hare, their first year in the SEC. I'm gonna be at this one, Blake. This is gonna be a fun one, man. How excited are you for this one?
I will be at this one also. And my guy, Josh Mahler, who I also run a little podcast with on the side, he is a big Oklahoma fan, huge Oklahoma fan. And he is, he makes weekly trips down to Norman and everything to see the Sooners. And he's coming to the Plains for this game, and we're going to be set up and everything. And I think, just looking at Oklahoma and Texas coming into the league, man, I'm excited. I made a tweet this morning saying, just I love the new SEC, and I know it sucks not playing LSU every year. Like I hate that, And the more I see it now popping up on people's schedules, I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, there's no LSU there. Like that sucks. But I see an Oklahoma, and I'm going to eventually see a Texas. And I know we're going to get to make a trip out to Oklahoma and Texas to see Auburn play in two rich tradition stadiums and just atmospheres and great college football programs. Man, I'm excited for that. I think your league gets deeper. I think your conference as a whole in every sport gets deeper. We could even look at college golf and say, hey, we got better, uh, and obviously just everything that kind of happened with Venables. I don't know if you remember.
Well, I remember very
Um,
vividly the
yeah, I
little
figured
jab
you
you
did.
took.
Yeah, he took a jab, and like basically, why would I want to go to Auburn? They're a dumpster fire.
No alignment, he said.
No
Meanwhile,
alignment,
Auburn's never been more aligned.
and this is a chance for him to step foot in front of the Jordan Hare faithful,
Hmm.
and I think that's going to be a big, big game because if you win that one, Dustin, then you go to Athens. You go to Athens, and you're undefeated when you walk into Athens. And we know man, we got to make something shake in that rivalry. We've been down bad, and it's starting to mirror the Tennessee Alabama rivalry, in my opinion,
Mm.
where it's just gotten so lopsided that do you really even consider it a rivalry anymore? I mean, the other team's got to win every now and then, and I feel like we got to get the monkey off our back, man.
Yeah, and we haven't won in Athens since '05. The 4th and 12, or was it 4th and 12 or 4th and 18? Brandon Cox to Aruma Shadu, and then the
Yep,
ball gets punched out when he's on the 5, and then we fall in it in the end zone and all that. And then they ultimately brought it back because you can't advance a fumble, and we kicked the game-winning field goal to beat Georgia. That was the last time, man. And like you said, it's been I don't even know what's it like 17 out of 20 or whatever that they've had
yep.
on us. So it's hard to call it a rivalry. And yeah, it is approaching Tennessee levels. It is depressing. So this would be an opportunity for Hugh, man, because this schedule kind of mirrors this last year's schedule, 2023's in this way, where the first portion you're looking at it and saying, okay, you should come out of that clean. Now, ultimately, we stumbled at A&M. What we all before the season knew that A&M game was going to be the test, right? But we all looked at the first three games and said, okay, you should handle it. And obviously, Auburn started 3-0. Same thing here. You should start. You should start 4-0.
Yep.
Then you get Oklahoma. Then you got to go at Georgia. Okay, cool. You get a bye, but then you got at Missouri and at Kentucky. Blake, at Missouri and at Kentucky are not easy trips on their own. And they're definitely not easy trips back to back, brother. I mean, when we first saw that Missouri was popping on the schedule, I was like, "Hey, you dropping LSU? You picking up a Mizzou? Okay, you're dropping Ole Miss. You're picking up a Missouri or Kentucky. Okay, yeah. Turns out, now we should. You look at Kentucky and you think like, okay, Auburn should go to Kentucky and handle business. It took Cam Newton to pull something out his ass to win at Kentucky. I can point to
And
some other times we've gone down to Kentucky and had some weird trips, man. So
and they're
that's
killing the
a tough
portal.
stretch. Are they?
They're killing the portal. Man, I look at this like if you that game on 9/28, man, that Oklahoma game, I just feel like that game is so important to the season because if you win that and you go to 5-0 and then you go to UGA and lose and then you get a bye, that bye would soak up that loss in my opinion. And you'd get a week to just kind of hey, like, let's get right. We go to Mizzou. That's going to be tough, like you said. Then you got Kentucky, like you said. Uh, it it's a tough place to play, man. Commonwealth Stadium is a tough place to play. They get rocking. They're loud. Like you said, that 2010 game with Cam, that was a tough go. Pulled it out. We were up big. They come back on us. We had to pull it out late with a field goal. But that back end, man, that back end looks very favorable. Vandy at the crib, bye
Mm,
week, ULM, Texas A&M. Texas A&M, brand new coach, whole roster looks to be hitting the portal. That looks like a game you could win. You get them at home. I mean, dude, you're sitting. That Oklahoma game is so big to me because if you go to 5-0 and just say, yeah, you do drop the next three, which I don't think you will. Um, you look at Vandy, ULM, and Texas A&M. I mean, you got a lot of momentum going into Alabama. So
yeah,
that's I know we're so far out, and I know it's crazy talk to even be thinking about this because we still got spring and we still got another portal window. But just speaking Auburn and what Auburn should do,
yeah,
you know, with having a quarterback returning on your roster and you know um, a lot of key pieces coming back, and I just think Auburn, man, like Oklahoma's going to be breaking in a new quarterback. Arkansas is going to be breaking in a new quarterback. Um, you know, Kentucky going to be breaking in a new quarterback. Vanderbilt breaking in. Are they going to have enough people to field a team?
Yeah,
Texas
maybe.
A&M, basically in the same position, bro. Like new coach, people are hitting the portal left and right. I just think there's a lot of opportunity on the schedule, Dustin.
Yeah, you make an interesting point when you talk about the back half there. So when you're talking about Oklahoma, Oklahoma feels to me like the A&M game did this year,
Yep.
where if you win that game, that kind of shows you what direction the season could possibly go. And let's say, yeah, let's say you win that game, and then you lose Georgia. You say you lose two of the next three
Hmm.
because you're playing. There's three tough road SEC games, so you lose two of those three. That still has you at 6-2 with Vandy, then a bye, then ULM. Well, you could be at 8-2 under that scenario. Now that you say it
That's what
out
I'm
loud,
saying.
that X&M game, that Oklahoma game, is massive. I think that if we can get them at night with the energy that obviously would be inside the building, then that's the dream scenario for us. So, and one thing I wanted to mention when you talked about we're going to get to go to places like Oklahoma and go to places like Texas, we're going to get to go places like the Swamp again and places
Yep.
like Neyland. That's another part of the schedule change is that you don't have to wait 7-8 years to go to Kentucky or go to
Yep.
Missouri. The guys that if you play out of school for 4 years, you will play that at every SEC stadium at least once. That is the goal. So I do love that. I hate the dropping LSU, man. There's personal relationships in my life that have made that rivalry a lot of fun, and it has been the craziest as far as just looking at the games and how they play out. It has been the wildest, craziest series of our lifetime. But I am excited
Yeah.
to get, we're still going to see them every other year, or that's at least the way that it's trending. I know they haven't finalized the way they're going to do these schedules, but they've only got the 24 finalized. But what we're hearing and what they've openly said is that they're going to really try to get it to where you can play everybody at least twice every 4 years. So I am a big
Mhm.
fan of that. I want us to play Tennessee more in football. I want us to play Florida more in football. Old rivalries, that we've when the divisions went the way they went. But it is going to be weird not playing Ole Miss. It is going to be weird not playing Mississippi State. I'm happy that we were at least able to get that dub on Mississippi State and not have to sit around, walk around with a multiple year losing streak to state. And Ole Miss, we do see you. We do have you circled. I can't wait for that one to come back again. That part of it does frustrate me because when you lose to teams like that, you can always say, "All right, we're running it back," and we knew this year. Uh, that's why I was so fired up all week for the Ole Miss game. I was like, because I don't want to sit on this
Mhm.
L. But yeah, man, I am a fan of the schedule here and the way that just the way the SEC is trying to do this, incorporating these new teams. I'm I'm not a fan of all the change just because that's just me. Like I'm just not, I'm just a traditionalist type thing, but it is going to be fun. I have accepted it. So I'm fired up for Oklahoma coming in. I didn't even think about the Venables angle that you gave. Yeah, let's let them know. And
Yeah.
it's funny because the the alignment's never been better at Auburn, man. The alignment's never been. Now I know that he interviewed at a different time. He interviewed a year before, but or when did he interview? Did he interview Harson or was he the interviewed? Did he interview with Hughes process?
It was Hugh,
Interview with the Hugh process.
or maybe it might have been Harson.
Yeah, it was Harson,
It
right?
was
Because he
Harson.
got because he got
Yeah.
Drew the first year they went 6-6 or what? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, whatever, man. I do look forward to that one. Blake, big weekend this weekend though on the Plains, man. And I wanted to
Mhm.
talk about some in homes that we had today, right? Looking over here at the
Mhm.
recruiting, Hugh and Jake Thornton did in home visits with Cohen Eccles and Favorite Edwin today. And these are battles that we have to win. I'm a big fan of this class, but with only one guy committed currently in DeAndre Carter down there on the offensive line, these are big battles, man. We need to at least get one of those guys. Cohen Eccles, for reference, was committed to Texas A&M, and he is going to go visit LSU this weekend as well. But as of right now, Auburn, from what I'm hearing, is sitting well. Like you don't like him going to visit LSU, but that's the game, right? So the point I kind of want to make here in the second segment is when we look at these guys like Eccles, there's still work to be done. With Favorite Edwin, this was a guy that we were crystal balled for. And then Florida got in the mix, and now all of a sudden it seems like he may be an Alabama lean because Bama got in the
Yeah.
mix. Um, Me and you, Blake, have done some checking the day on KJ Bolden, and this is third. We're recording this Thursday night on the 14th, and we haven't got back positive news. Right? It seems like it's trending towards Florida State. He's going to stay
Yeah.
towards his commitment. Now that's not final, and we've still got a couple of days here. Anything can change, but as of right now, that's where we sit. LJ McCray posted a graphic today, seeming like, and then it was, did he come out and give a firm statement? No, but what the graphics say, I can't wait to be a Gator in a week. Basically, it
Yeah.
kind of seemed like he was saying, "Hey, man, I'm a Florida Gator."
Yeah.
Um, so we just, I'm not. It's not a negative thing. The point I'm trying to make here, man, is that when we look at these big names, because the class for the most part is complete, and then we got some portal guys coming in this weekend as well. I was mentioning just the 24 high school guys there. It's a lot harder. The portal guys like to keep their stuff quiet, so you just kind of find out as that stuff leaks out. Hopefully there is some big time guys this weekend from the portal because we need some experienced guys at some positions. But Blake, do you have any concern as we wind this recruiting class here about just the way these things are trending?
I'm starting to get a little concerned about the line, man. I'm starting to get a little concerned about the offensive line, just because like Favor Edwin. I don't want to lose that battle to Alabama. Um, and when you really look at it, the one spot that we're struggling at is offensive line, interior offensive line, and it's it's um it's a position that I'm tired of watching Auburn struggle at. And I know we made strides this year, and you know I don't want to really attack year one and what's going on, but I know the class was thin, and I know Georgia and Alabama hopped on everybody early and just kind of really took us out of the game. But it just kind of feels like the kid from, was it Toledo?
Yes,
Um,
yes,
and he went
Toledo.
to Texas Tech.
Yeah, and we were
Yeah,
like all in is the word. We were all in. We
yeah.
really wanted them, and didn't even give us a visit.
And then the kid from Indiana,
Yeah, he actually
he
visited. Yeah,
he visited, and then all of
and
a
we
sudden
pushed.
he's like Colorado.
Yeah, and
And
we pushed hard.
yeah, and I saw Worm actually was like, bro, Auburn's everything I told you it was. Like, it's a great place. Like, you will do great there. And then bang,
Yeah,
he's like, I'm a Prime. Um, it's a little concerning, man. It is. I don't want to panic just yet, but I'm starting to worry that you know we're missing on guys. We're missing, and we're getting beat. So I want things to turn around and us start winning some battles here in the next couple days.
yeah. This is crunch time, man. So I like. I mean, no matter where how this all ends up, Auburn's going to finish with a top 12, top 15 class, right? So Hugh's done a great job.
Yeah,
But we're just talking about these last couple battles. Auburn trying to finalize this class, and yeah, I just not trending in the right way for any of the big fish. At least from what we've heard, you never know, right? Um, I feel really good about my KJ Bolden source. But again, I've said this a million times on the KJ Bolden one. That one's going to be a signing day thing. Like that one will
hmm,
be for sure, locked down on signing day because he's just I think he really loves FSU and I think he really loves Auburn. And these are
yeah,
these are tough choices for kids to make, right? But yeah, I share your concern with offensive line because um it gets to the point to where everything you said is true. The 24 class is super thin in the important states that Auburn recruits from. And that plays a big factor. And Georgia and Alabama have had their hands on the guys that they want for 2 or 3 years.
yeah,
And that is a big factor. But ultimately, None of that has anything to do with the Toledo transfer situation that you mentioned. None of that has anything to do with the favor or the Indiana the player from Indiana that you mentioned. Favor Edwin, you offered him before Bama. You were in the boat before Bama, and
Yeah.
then they came in the picture and knocked you out. That has nothing to do with previous relationships or anything like that. And you have one commitment on the offensive line. Now he's a stud,
Yeah.
but DeAndre Carter can't block everybody. Now we added the kid, we added the JUCO kid Wilfred. We added the Sedna kid in the mid, like right there at the beginning of the season. I'm not even sure how that technically where he fell. Right, like I don't know if he
Hmm.
counted for the 23 class. I don't know how all that worked. If he counted as a portal addition for last year's class, if he goes to this year's portal addition, I'm not sure because that was weird timing with a super weird situation in Northwestern when the kids were when they were available, and we went there and got them. So there have been some ways where we've maneuvered in there and got some guys, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And you
Hmm.
mentioned it's frustrating from the standpoint of it again, offensive line again. We need a class where we sign 6, 7, 8 of these boys. We need
Yep.
a heavy offensive line class with a lot of big time prospects in there. And it's just That's right now. Right now, it's not enough. You've got to, in my opinion, like a guy like Cohen Eccles, you cannot let him go to Baton Rouge this weekend and then come out of there committed. You
Yep.
can't, man. You can't.
Yep.
You can't allow it to happen from perception standpoint and the fact of you need to add some offensive linemen in this class. Same thing with Favor Edwin. You got to find a way to close this one out. You got to find a way to
It's a
win this
fact.
damn battle. I mean, because you lost a battle on the offensive line to Stanford earlier in the year.
It's a fact.
You lost a battle to Georgia Tech on the offensive line earlier in the year. And I'm not hitting the panic button either. We acknowledge all the issues. We've talked about them at length as to why this offensive line class. That's why we're giving the benefit of the doubt on the situation the way we are.
Yep.
Otherwise, I would be raising serious red flags.
Yep.
But it is now, Blake, in my opinion, it is now a situation to monitor.
Yeah. 2025. Better get ready.
Yeah,
We got to
better get
hammer
it
it.
in.
We got to hammer it. And that's a. I feel like that's a pretty nice class. I feel like there's a
Oh,
lot
there.
of talent in there, and I feel like there's some opportunity for Auburn to really hammer it. And let's get big up front, man. Let's get back to them old offensive lines that Auburn used to have.
You
Where
don't have
we
to
were
lead the
just
state of Alabama for the 25 class and offensive line. You don't have to, bro.
yes, and let's get back to what we used to do, man. Where we were moving people, and we had a first round draft pick on our offensive line, and we had all Americans on our offensive line, and like. Let's get back to that, and I know we got a stud. I know we got a stud up there right now. I ain't worried about him. But I
Right.
want to see these classes start stacking.
Yeah.
Get back to what Auburn used to be, Dustin.
Yes, sir. But some positive news was Jeffrey Lee from over at Auburn Live. He did put in a crystal ball for Amari Williams or Amaris Williams, I believe is how you say it. He's he was committed to the University of Florida. I guess he's still committed. He may have decommitted, but he is a 4-star defensive lineman, top 100 player. Kind of interesting because we thought like Eljan McCray was the guy there, and now it's looking like he's
Mhm.
going to end up staying in Florida. But it is like we're going to flip Williams here. So again, a top 100 player. Um, that right there, if you add him, now I believe that's going to put you around like seventh, somewhere in that range. So that would be a big addition that would help you jump a couple spots. And we just mentioned the offensive line. Obviously, if the offensive line's important, the defensive line's important. We mention it every time we bring up recruiting. The trenches are where it all starts. So a top 100 player, if we are able to pull off this flip, hell yeah. And I think that if we pull that one off, that'll kind of complete the 24 cycles defensive line. And I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Jamonte Waller on the edge. I'm a big fan of Joseph Phillips on the edge. And I love how you've kind of built it with Malik Blockton, a guy that can do some inside stuff, but it was more like a traditional end, and then my guy TJ Lindsay as well. So, and then we have the nose guard of Dimitri Nichols, but it seems like Bama, Miami, everybody's popped in there and made that one interesting. So that one is kind of up in the air right now. But I like our defensive line class, Blake. So I do think that we've made improvements recruiting wise in every area outside of the offensive line. So, and it's just not having. I mean, one guy is just not enough. That's really where we're at on that.
I like this pickup, especially going down into Gainesville and making it happen. Big South Carolina kid. I think what was he, the number 12 D lineman in the country?
Yeah,
Um,
he's up there. He's a highly rated kid.
yeah, yeah, he's highly rated. I think he's like 6'3", 6'4", like almost 300 pounds, something like that.
Yeah, I'll pull it up here.
Um, yeah, pull it up, bro. I'm pretty sure I think he's like 6'3", 6'4", if I remember correctly.
And I'm getting this information from Auburn Live. Let's see. Yeah,
I
Jeffrey
know
Lee
he's
with the prediction here. Top 100 recruit Amarius Williams. He is being recruited by Ohio State, Tennessee, and Georgia. 6'3", 265 pounds. He is the number 90 overall recruit, according to On3 in the 2024 class, number 2 in the state of North Carolina, and he is the number 12th overall defensive lineman. And that's the thing I like about On3's rating, Blake's, is they take in all of the ratings from across Rivals, 24/7, and ESPN. So I do like the way they do it. Again, this is courtesy of Auburn Live.
Yeah, 6'3", 265. I know he wasn't quite 300. That's a little big, but 265, man. Yeah, a talented player, and you go get him. And look, if Auburn doesn't land LJ McCray, look, they gave a hell of a shot.
Right.
They went down there, they battled, and hey, if you land this kid, like you said, top 7, top 8 class. And for people like my guy, like Mike Dog, who just wants to absolutely shit on Auburn in every episode that we post. Um,
Get a life, dork.
look, Mike. You say that Auburn ain't nothing, and Auburn sucks, and all of this stuff. But dog, we lost to New Mexico State 31-10. Look at me, Mike. We lost 31-10, brother, and we're about to have a top 10 recruiting class. All right, Mike. I know that hurts you, dog, but your team is in the playoffs, and you're worried about Auburn over here. It just goes to show you're worried what Hugh Freeze and this staff is doing, Mike. So we love you. We appreciate you. We have fun with it. All right.
Yeah,
But it just goes to
you taste
show.
the same.
It just goes to show, Dustin, that Auburn's coming, man. Auburn's coming, and they're getting talent. And it's the talent that we didn't have. We went from getting Mountain West talent to now we're getting SEC talent again. And yeah, that was a shot at Potato Head.
For sure. One I know that I wrote down earlier. One that says for you mentioned you wanted Cal at night, bro. I want Cal at 10 in the morning. I would put it at 10 in the morning, so it's 8 in the morning on them boys. I would do them the same way, well, just opposite of what they did us. Because 10 a.m. is early, but I think we'd be okay because it feel like 8 to them. I'd pop them with something goofy, bro.
I get that, but like, bro, that moving, I'll tell y'all something. So when I went out to Oregon, I never really believed that like the time change could affect you the way it does. I'd never been out west. I'd been east, but never been out west. And when I'm telling you, I do not know how those people do it on the West Coast, bro, playing Pac-12 after dark. Because when we were at the USC game, and they didn't kick off until 7:30 Pacific time. Man, bro, like, because my body was set to 9:30 Central.
Right,
So I'm
yeah,
sitting here and I'm just like, man, I'm so tired. And it's 7:30 Pacific time. And it's like, me and my brother, bro, we were going to sleep at like 9 o'clock Pacific time, and we were waking up at like 4 a.m. because we were used to waking up at 6, And so it was just weird, man. It was super weird. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you on the Cal stuff. It's gonna be difficult on them coming to the Central Time Zone like we had to go out west last year on Pacific time. But man, favorable schedule, recruiting is hot. Are we about to wrap this thing up, Dustin? Because I was going to give a final thought whenever you get ready.
Yeah, I'll give my final thought here real quick. Nothing important. Just want to say that if you watched that basketball broadcast yesterday, goodness gracious, man. Like what in the world were we subjected to for 2 hours? If anybody from whoever was involved in that ever comes across this podcast, hear me when I tell you, I'm sure Huntsville is a great place. I know it's a great place. I've been there. Beautiful city, all that. I hope the economy does great. I hope that the families of Huntsville stay together. I hope the school system thrives. I hope all their plumbing runs well. I hope the electricity's a-okay. I wish Huntsville nothing but the best, brother. I do not give a damn when we are hooping about you interviewing mayors and city councilmen and whatever in the world. And I'm not even, people were like really going after the announcers. I'm not even going to go after the announcers because I don't know if they had a fair shake. If that was the plan for the broadcast as a whole, that was bad, bad, bad. And Blake tweeted out, and it got a ton of traction and a ton of interactions. Next time we're on ESPN Plus, we will just live stream the game for you guys, so you can watch, or you can watch the game with us. You can mute it, and we'll talk and we'll goof around and we'll have a good time, and we'll just be pro Auburn homers because they didn't even talk about ball. They were talking about
Nope.
voting districts and divorce rates. That was insane. That was insane. But whatever, man.
Well, let me see here. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm looking. Um, boy, I don't know where it is, but whatever.
There'll be one, and we'll do a live stream.
What is? Oh man, what is his name? Um, Brinks. Brinks. Bobby Brinks. I guess that is his name. Um, so last night, a couple Auburn players were on IG Live
Hmm.
with Ryan Williams, and we had a say he's 9 years old, 10 years old, maybe at the max.
Right.
Connor gets on, and Connor's spitting, bro. Connor, I mean, he's just letting Ryan know, like, hey, bro, like we got the eagle, we got the tumors, we got the lemonade, like we got everything, dog. Like come to Auburn, man. Like we'll remember you forever. Like if you go to Alabama, you're just another Waddle, you're just another Jerry Judy, like just another guy, So come to Auburn. And after all of this happened, man, like bro makes a threat to a kid, and it could have been a joke or whatever, but I'm gonna give my piece on it. And I'm a father of two, and I know young stud's probably 22 years old, and he's bulletproof. I get that, but when it comes to a kid on IG Live, probably talking to a guy that he's watched in high school, and he probably follows, and his dad probably follows Ryan Williams's recruitment, and they're probably big fans. I know how I feel about kids in the state, man. I want to see kids in the state do well no matter where they go. I want to see them succeed. I love the state of Alabama. But when you attack a kid, dog, that is extremely too far. That is way too far. Cancel the rivalry. I don't want to look at it any other way. All right. You leave a child out of it. I don't care if it was a joke. I don't care how you meant it. I don't give a damn. You leave a kid out of it. And for you to say that you would put him 6 feet deep, that is ridiculous, bro. That's ridiculous. Like at the end of the day, I don't give a damn about football. Connor's dad should be on somebody's neck right now.
Hmm.
Point blank, period. At the end of the day, he's a child, man. And he was out there having fun because he loves Auburn. And he don't even know what's really going on right now, bro. He's 9, 10. All right. The only thing I'm 32, bro. The only thing I can really remember when I was 10 was bits and pieces of things. All right. So, he gets it, but he don't, he's 10. He's a kid. So my thing is, man, is you're a college guy, like I said, you're in a frat at Alabama, whatever. That's what his Twitter page says. Why are you talking to a 10-year-old like this? Why don't you come talk to somebody else like that? That's, your own age, or, any Auburn fan. Like, talking to a 10-year-old, man, like, that's piss poor. I don't agree with it. It rubbed me the wrong way. And that's why I slung a couple tweets off today, because, like I said, I'm a father of two, man, and I don't roll with that. And it pissed me off. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, well, you let stuff, bother you and everything like that." Um, nah, man, it's keep it about football. Keep the rivalry about basketball. Keep it about baseball. Whatever sport you follow, keep it about that. Don't be attacking little kid. And this goes for Auburn fans too, bro. Like, if you hop on an Alabama, it's a child, man. Like, let it go. Leave it alone. Uh, keep it the same age. Like, I'm cool with talking trash, but there's a
Right.
line, bro. There's a line. So that one rubbed me the wrong way. I'm sure the guy's a great dude. I'm sure he just got overheated. Might have had some things going on, but he apologized. And like I said today, bro, that's all you had to do instead of doubling down on the situation, is just write up an apology and say, "Hey, bro, I'm sorry." And he did that. So obviously that shows a little maturity on his part, and hopefully he moves past it. But next time, man, really think before you hit send on that tweet, and just know that you're talking to a 10-year-old, bro.
Yeah, good stuff, Blake. I'm glad that I missed all that. I'm glad that I didn't see any of that. wasn't a part of any of that. I have definitely embraced the philosophy post and ghost for the most part. Because
Yeah,
it is just goodness gracious out there on the internet. Boy, I think today I said, hey, if Ryan Williams if Ryan Williams doesn't go to Auburn, the other four receivers we got are studs. And then there, of course, there are people going, "Oh, so you don't want Ryan Williams?" Like, yeah, whatever, man. It's internet.
no, that's not what he's saying.
It's not what I said. It's a crazy place out there on the internet.
Yeah,
Look, Sunday, 3 p.m. We will be back. Let's see, the USC game's what, at 12? So yeah, we should be
yeah.
yeah, we should be
They
good
got to
to go.
fly back.
Hey, hey, yeah. Remember
Dang.
when y'all called our baseball game we was about to win in the extra innings?
Yeah,
They had to, yeah, okay. Yeah, but good luck with all that when you're traveling across the country for every
yeah.
sport for when you join the Big Ten. Looking forward to it. But yeah, we should be good to go. 3 p.m. Sunday. We'll be back after the USC game, man. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. War Day Mingo. We'll see you guys Sunday. We're out.
More down, baby.